This is the place. They say people come from far, far, far away to find their dreams, chasing down these meteors and comets called dreams in the sky of life. There's certain hot spots.
Yo, what's Gucci, everybody? It's your boy ssjk-dots, the first Black Super Saiyan wherever I'm playing, and I'm back here with another video. We have the Stargirl review, spoiler review. We're gonna spoil this shit. We just gonna spoil. This is a request from the members. The members have requested for me to check out Stargirl. Chaz Blanks. I know Adam, I saw Adam's comment on Twitter. He was excited for the review, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to you guys. So this Stargirl review, I've watched all of Stargirl. There is 12 episodes in total. Stargirl is starring the Stargirl. The actor's name is Breck Bassinger. She's 21, you guys. She's fire. Starring Breck Bassinger, she is Stargirl. She is taking over the mantle of Starman, so she calls herself Stargirl. So she takes over his spear, which is the best way to describe this spear, this staff, is first things first. What you need to do is hit the subscribe prompt here, and then what you want to make sure to do is want to hit that bell. Make sure so you get all my notifications of all my videos. Please make sure you do that. I'll catch you guys later. Deuces. Is the cape from Doctor Strange, the cape that kind of was alive and it had its own personality and stuff, and you know, it can communicate in its own weird way and move around on its own. That's basically what the staff is. So the staff is kind of like its own character in a sense. You know, and I'm not saying it's own character, it's not as deep, but has its own personality. I'll say that much. So Stargirl is basically living in Nebraska, and she moves there with her new stepfather Pat, her brother Mike, half her stepbrother Mike, and her biological mother, and they're all living in Nebraska. Nebraska is a location where the JSA was located at, and that's the location where they fell and was defeated at. Originally, Pat had plans to. Originally, years earlier, Pat had plans to go to Nebraska and look for the Injustice Society of America, which is the enemies to the Justice Society, and I'll get to explain them soon. The Injustice Society, and you know, he was looking for a couple of years. He ended up meeting Stargirl's mother, and that happened. So this show takes place 2 years after Pat and Stargirl's mother get together. And after that, Pat stopped his search. You know, it's like, fuck it. The Injustice Society is not going to be an easy find. I'm just going to leave it as is. And Pat just moved on. Pat had no intention of getting back into superhero stuff. He just wanted to move with his family and move away and get away. So they moved to Nebraska. When we get in Nebraska, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. You know, hey, you come to find out, the whole Injustice Society stays up in Nebraska. The whole Injustice Society. They all stay up in Nebraska, bruh.
Coincidence? I think not!
Tigress, freaking Brainwave, Dragon King. They all stay up in Nebraska. Icicle, they all stay in Nebraska. So it seems they never left. And they had no reason to leave. One reason for them staying there was that Nebraska was a perfect spot. It had these caves built and stuff to where they can have an evil lair. And it was one of the most secluded places in America that they can do their evil villain stuff at. Alright, but let's get to the Justice Society of America. So basically, the reason Stargirl is able to become Stargirl is that the Justice Society loses. And, you know, Stargirl, who is supposedly the daughter of Starman, supposedly, what we kind of find out is, well, you know, Justice Society, they have been defeated. Dr. Fate, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and a bunch of other members, and I'll talk about my issues soon with some things. So they was defeated by the Injustice Society. That includes Tigress, Brainwave, Icicle, Solomon Grundy, and there was one more. Am I forgetting somebody? Oh, and the Wizard. The Wizard dies pretty early, so don't expect him to stay for so long. So my biggest issue. So look, let me just say my one of my positives. Right, I get into a positive. I like the first episode, the opening action sequence. Like it wasn't bad visually. It didn't look bad. Like it ain't gonna be no MCU TV show, superhero TV show level like stuff. But it looks, from what I've seen, from the quality, some stuff looks better than the CW. In some cases, like Stargirl's staff, like the lighting and stuff, and the way the staff looks, like it looks good. It doesn't look really cheap. It doesn't look bad. I mean, the only things when it comes to the CGI that look weird is when Pat is using the giant robot, Stripe, and you see Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy CGI was utterly trash. That shit was just trash. It was trash. Solomon Grundy had bad CGI. But that's really as bad as the CGI would get in those two cases. And, you know, sometimes when characters are like, you know, like when Stripes is flying and the scenery looks weird and stuff, you know. But as far as like the action, the choreography, the character standing, and the action scenes where it's more close quarters and stuff, and it's not getting crazy where people are shooting ranged weapons at each other and stuff, it gets a little bit more contained. Like the first sequence when Stargirl first met Brainwave, and the staff was helping her, you know, fight and stuff. She was not a great fighter at this moment, but she was able to fight him off somehow and deflect those tires back at him and stuff. I was like, you know what, that looks good. The wire work, I'm assuming that was wire work. The wire work didn't look bad. It didn't look like you can tell that it was on wires. It looked very stylish. It looked cool. Like, you guys, I'm not saying this is the greatest thing ever. Look, you can say some of the stuff looks derpy. You could. But I have no, like Stargirl, I have no issue with her costume. I actually like her costume. You know, I'm okay with her costume. It makes sense. She made her own costume herself. She stitched it up and made her own costume. She took Starman's costume, stitched it up to fit her, which I love that detail. I love that detail. She didn't just put on Starman's costume. She actually cut it up, stitched it up to make it fit her body, which is good. Good. And, you know, there's a little attention to detail. Like, Stargirl as a character, the reason she becomes a hero is because she believes that Starman is her father. And it motivates her to fight too. So sort of her whole thing is justice. She wants to get justice for the Justice Society of America, especially her father, who she thinks is Starman. And that's her big reason for becoming a hero. On this journey, she's gonna act, you know, she's gonna act cocky. She's gonna be ignorant to a lot of Pat's advice throughout this story. You know, and a character like Pat, and you know, let's get to Pat for a second. I like Pat as a character. I like Pat as a character, but the problem with Pat is that Pat cannot realize, and he said it in the first episode. Like, I like Pat. He's a cool guy. He's a cool dude. There ain't nothing to hate about him. But the thing is, like, Pat really tries and tries and tries, and it is apparent Starman was an asshole. That dude was a fucking dickhead. This nigga Starman had Pat cleaning his underwear and shit, washing his suit. I'm like, are you sure you was a sidekick or a butler? There's a difference between a sidekick and a sidekicks don't wash their partner's clothes and shit. You was washing his clothes, and I was like, a Starman that lazy? Does he not know how to wash his own shit? Damn. You was damn near a assistant, a maid, a butler. Like, and Pat called himself a sidekick. Like, Pat, he was not a sidekick. To my honest opinion, Pat was being kind of used, to be low-key. To be honest, he was being used because Pat Starman was throwing hella shade at Pat in that first episode. I was like, why the hell is he disrespecting so much? Pat's over trying to help, and then Starman's like, no, Pat, don't come here, we don't need you. Like, bro, he's trying to help. She's your fucking sidekick. Why can't your sidekick come help you? That's why he's your sidekick, right? So yeah, I like Pat as a character, but the problem with Pat is like the characters don't even really respect Pat until Pat like jumps that robot suit and gotta really show off like, yo, I'm Stripesy, you know. And that was his sidekick name. He was Stripesy. But people don't respect him until he like actually starts invoking power, like getting inside of his robot suit and stuff. But he's not a bad character. Like, the dude's not bad. It's just that he's not. He believes he was a sidekick, and I wish Pat would acknowledge that you was not a sidekick. You was not a sidekick, bro. You wasn't. You was washing his clothes and stuff. That's not a sidekick. That's a butler. But I love Pat as a character. I like his personality, likes positive energy. I like how he's trying to turn Stargirl into an actual hero and talk about there's real consequences to this stuff. And I like the fact that, you know, I'll be honest with you. I like what they was doing because they was trying to make it seem like Pat was the father she always wanted, or the father she always needed, and Pat was the father that she always needed. You know, because what we come to find out is, in the story, Starman is not her daddy.
NANI?
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, Starman is not her daddy. So, I was wrong. So, the person on her pendant, and if you compare it to the picture, so if you go back to my reaction, right? I made a comment, like, and I said, her dad on the pendant looks just like Starman. Like, the same face, mustache, beard, everything, hair. And I was like, eyebrows, like face, like forehead and stuff. I was like, that looks just like the guy is Starman. I was like, Starman is her dad. And Pat was saying every episode, almost every episode, like, look, Stargirl is not Courtney. Starman is not your dad. He's not your dad. And I'm like, Pat, he's on the pendant. Look at the pendant. And I'm like, look at the pendant. He's on the pendant that her dad gave to her. That looked like the same person. So they finally reveal her dad, and we kind of find out, damn, the nigga barely looks like Starman. I was like, huh? I don't know what that was. That editing was weird. Like, why on the pendant he looks like Starman, but when it came to him showing up, he doesn't look like Starman. I could be wrong, but on that pendant, he looked like Starman. He looked like Starman. But, you know, back to Pat. I like how Pat is actually the father she needs, rather than the father that she just had. He is the father that she needs because he's helping to guide her. He's actually investing into her, unlike her shitty ass father, who only showed up to take the pendant because the material the pendant was made out of was worth a lot of the materials is worth a lot, and he can sell that pendant and get some money off it. So, you know, he was basically just came back to get that pendant, being a douchebag and shit. Pat socked that motherfucker in the face, like, boom! Don't ever come back here. Don't stay away from Courtney. Stay away from her. Pat is the father Courtney needs, and I like that. They just went there. They just went there. You know, he ain't just a stepfather. He's the father Courtney needs, and Courtney accepted him. It was a bumpy road. It was a bumpy road for Courtney and Pat, but they went through it. They fought. They bickered. They resisted each other. And then they eventually came to work together. Another thing. So let's start to get into some characters. Let's get into the main characters. So, first character is Wildcat. Played by Yvette Montreal. Yolanda. Her name is Yolanda in the show. So, Yolanda is the Wildcat character. Wildcat is of the JSA. Wildcat suit gives him the ability to survive great falls. He can activate these claws that can cut through almost anything. He gets enhanced strength. That type of thing. So, basically, Yolanda, her story is that Henry, Brainwave's son, who she dated, so they was you know, lovey-dovey and stuff, all cute and everything. And Henry, and that's why Henry's a fucking douchebag. Fuck Henry. I didn't care when he died. I'm glad that bitch died. So fucking Henry was dating Yolanda at the time. Yolanda, you know, she sent them nudes. I mean, hey, who hasn't sent a significant other nudes? It happens. Shit, it happens. And it's different if it's your significant other. It's not like they wasn't dating at the time. They was dating, right? They was dating. This is the thing. They was dating. So Henry is dating Yolanda, and this dumbass is going to share her pictures around with everyone in the school. I'm like, do you want everybody to see your girl naked? It's like, it would have been the same vice versa if Yolanda was sharing Henry dick pics to all the girls in the school and stuff. Like, do you want all these girls to be do you want to expose your significant other's naked body to the world? Like, what are you doing? And then, like, Yolanda, I really felt bad for her because it got so bad to where once everybody in the school saw her naked body and stuff, and everybody, you know, they calling her a slut, trick, all this shit. They're disrespecting her, talking bad about her, foul, treating her like shit. And then what we kind of find out is Yolanda's family had her on punishment for like months on end, guys. She been grounded for months. And I'm like, damn, her family whack. The only person I want that accepts her apology was her brother, and her little brother loves you. Don't give a fuck. Her dad is still mad about I'm like, bruh, it's been months. Like, the parents stopped going to, you know, the school meetings and stuff, and, you know, the parent-teacher conferences and shit, because they felt ashamed and everything. They don't like taking Yolanda to church. Like, they don't like doing nothing with her no more. I'm like, that's your daughter. And Yolanda had a moment where she got in front of her parents, the whole family, and apologized in front of everybody. And then they're over like, she was saying she doesn't want to be remembered by her past. She want to be able to move forward. And then her mom's talking about, but you're defined by your past. No shit, you're defined by your past. But damn, can you help your daughter move on? Shit. Like, I wish I actually resolved Yolanda's arc with your parents. I think that's the show should have ended that and came to a resolution, because at the end of the day, to me, her family just look like dickheads. Like, your daughter's trying to move on and you not helping her move on. You punish her for months and months and months on end. I don't know how many months, but she was on punishment for months, like a long time. And I'm like, damn, can you help her move on? Shit, the pictures are out there. Everyone saw her nudes. It is what it is. Now she sent it to her boyfriend. There's a difference. And this is the difference. The boyfriend should never did what he did. I don't care what you say. It was foul and wrong for him to do what he did in the first place. Let's say if my girl sent me nudes. Those are for me. Those ain't for nobody else. Them are for me. If I send my girl nudes, those are for her. Nobody else. Those are for my girl. That's the thing. It's this where you have respect in a relationship. Henry didn't have no respect. Henry should be the one, getting disrespected and berated and called out for what he did. I don't know why Henry is not in trouble for what he did. He shared her nudes to the whole school and shit. But Yolanda's in trouble for sure. Tight. You know, some bullshit. Some fucking bullshit. Fuck Henry. I'm glad he died. I'm glad that rubble crushed him. I'm glad his dad killed him too. I'm glad his dad killed him. Shit. Let's get to another character. But Yolanda, I liked her. She was tight, man. I wanted Yolanda to kill Henry so bad. I was like, oh dang. But you know, she at some point had to, you know, even though she didn't really forgive Henry until after he died, she straight up was like, you know, she said what had to be said, but she let him live. She had the opportunity to kill him, but she didn't choose to. But she said what she said. It wasn't nice, but she said what she said. She always had something on her mind she wanted to say, because when people saw her, you know, she turned into a recluse. She didn't want to talk to nobody. She was afraid to sit with certain people because people just going to make fun of her, call her a slut, and do all this stuff, disrespecting her and shit. And then I'm over here like, you know, I understand why she's scared to be public and vocal anymore. Because before the news, she was doing a lot of activities. She was part of I believe the student committee and stuff. She was doing a lot of things. And, you know, ever since the thing with their nudes getting leaked, and Henry not accepting responsibility for what he did, and he gives a last minute apology like, I'm sorry. I mean, fuck you, Henry. You should have apologized sooner and cleared that shit up. Your apology was too late. Too late. And they didn't do enough to make me like Henry anyways. Fuck Henry. Fuck Henry. Like, fuck him. That's it. This show didn't do enough to develop me, to give him a good redemption arc. Because the redemption arc, he didn't do shit to redeem himself for what the fuck he did. He didn't do shit to redeem himself. Nothing. He did not do anything to redeem himself in front of Yolanda's eyes. And I was like, you know what? F Henry. He can drop dead for all I care. So our next character I want to get to is Rick Tyler, played by Cameron Gelman. So he is our man. So Rick Taylor. I'll be honest, Rick's my favorite character. He's probably he's up there with my favorites. So Rick is this young kid. He is the son of Ryan Taylor, the original Our Man. He's the son of the original Our Man, right? He's the son of the original Our Man. And what happens is, Our Man's hourglass is literally linked to Our Man's DNA, and is basically Courtney. One day Pat and Courtney are going to school. Rick, they're going to school. The car starts to mess up. There's an issue with the car, and Rick, who knows how to work with cars and stuff, he's casually walking by. He gives Pat some tips, helps him fix the car and stuff, and they get it working. And Courtney sees the hourglass starts glowing that she has, and she puts two and two together, like, oh, Rick is linked to this hourglass somehow. So yeah, let me just say, Rick is the son of the original Our Man. He's a son, and basically in this whole show, Rick kind of knows who his parents are. So he knows his parents. He knows his parents. He doesn't know they're superheroes, but he knows of his parents, unlike Courtney, who doesn't really know who her father is when we come to find out her father's son, Starman. So Rick's the only legacy character, in a sense. He's the only legacy by birthright of the JSA to get the mantle of Our Man. So basically, Rick is just kind of a delinquent. He's kind of a delinquent. He'd be stealing shit, selling stuff to people. I mean, yeah, we didn't really see him steal nothing, but he's a dark guy. He got a dark past. He knows some things. Kind of looks like he's depressed, but he's not depressed. He kind of got some energy, but he's kind of scary at the same time too. Like, if you look at him, it's like, dang, he got the intimidating. He got a very intimidating face, very intimidating eyes. Like, he's very intimidating. That's what he's able to bring, intimidation, and I like that. I like seeing that in his character. And basically, Rick gets introduced to Stargirl, Yolanda, and the other black girl that becomes Dr. Midnight. Stargirl gives him the hourglass. Rick, who feels entitled to it once she finds out that it is his dad's hourglass. Courtney starts to question giving it to him, and then he's like, nah, this is my dad's shit. You gave it to me. This is my dad's hourglass, so technically it's mine. Went off with it, and Rick, through this whole moment, is thinking, he's still wondering, like, why his dad left and stuff. What happened to his parents? Why did his parents leave? Why didn't his parents come back? And Courtney and them try to, let him know, like, hey, it was the JSA that was part of the death of your parents. And they figure out who actually did it. And they kind of find out it is, they don't know who it is specifically yet, but they know it's someone from the JSA. So Rick basically joins the JSA for revenge. Courtney is joining for justice. So Courtney is on the thing of justice. Rick is on the path of revenge of joining the JSA. So that's where the two things flip-flop. Courtney's for justice, and Rick is for revenge, specifically revenge. And Rick, through this whole arc, I thought Rick wasn't going to be a team player. First episode, when Rick finally put on the Our Man suit and they went on their first mission, he was not a team player. But eventually after that, once Pat proved himself, because he didn't take Pat serious, because he was like, Pat, you're a sidekick, you're nothing. You was Stripesy. Like they was making fun of him. But Rick didn't take him serious until he saw Pat show up in the robot suit and stuff and protect him and show like, yo, I'm that dude. He started respecting Pat. He eventually started respecting Courtney too. He even at one point when they was training, Courtney was being too selfish with the training, and she was started to destroy all the training dummies and stuff. And what ended up happening was Rick called her out like, yo, like, we all need to train too. This training is not just for you, Courtney. We all need to train together. Like, that was whack what you just did. You know, we all need to train together. We're a team. This is a team effort. You're not a solo act. So Rick eventually is going to want to be a team player. Like, even though he's on the path of revenge, he's willing to be a team player. He's willing to work, and he's willing to even call out Courtney, who is the leader. Like, yo, we need to work as a team, and if you're going to be our leader, you need to be leading by example. Rick is, and I understand why Rick is mad that he doesn't have his parents, because in Rick's situation, this is where his parents mess up at. Well, mind you, they had to get away because superhero stuff. So Rick's dad, Rick's mom, her brother, which is his uncle, Rick's uncle, gets sprung on him unexpectedly that, yo, we need you to take care of Rick. The uncle randomly, and Rick's like maybe 5 or 6 at this moment, maybe 6 or 7, I don't know. And the uncle just out of nowhere has to randomly take care of Rick now. The uncle had to sacrifice a big job that he was about to do. Like, you know, he's going to get a job and he was going to do this, but he had to sacrifice it. So Rick's father and mother gave him the lease. They gave him the property, put in his name. They gave him everything, gave him the car. They basically put everything in his name. And they told the uncle that we're going to change his last name to your last name, and you're going to be his dad. So we're going to let everybody think that you are his biological father and stuff. So they wanted to erase his son's identity because he didn't want the ISA, Injustice Society of America, looking for him. So basically, Rick was living through a life of lies. He was living with an uncle that was low-key being a hater and despising him because the uncle, you know, got derailed from what the uncle wanted to do. And Rick had to face the abuse of the uncle that he didn't deserve, you know. And I understand why the uncle's mad, because like, yo, you just randomly spring your kid on me. I gotta take care of him. You guys up and leave out of nowhere. Like, you just straight up leave. I understand why he's mad. I put the fault on Rick's parents for just up and leaving, but I understood why they had to. Now, that's the thing. I don't know why they left Rick. I don't even know where they was going. They never explained where they was going. Like, they never explained where our man and his wife was going. So, you know, like, I don't even know why. If you're gonna run, then take Rick too. I don't know why they just ran away and not take Rick, because they didn't really explain where they was going anyways that night, and for them to do that and just leave him, because they was going somewhere, but they never explained where he was going. Like, they never explained where he was going specifically to be away for a long time. So never explained that. But yeah, Rick went through a life of lies, having to pretend this guy is his father, who is actually being abusive towards him and treating him like shit and talking bad about him and treating him like he's not family. So I understand why Rick is the way he is. And Rick does get his redemption. He gets to have his fight with Solomon Grundy, who actually killed his parents. And out of, you know, as he was beating Grundy, Grundy was like, you know, oh, don't hurt me no more. And Rick started feeling bad in a sense. He was like, this don't feel right. Like, killing Solomon Grundy was not going to bring his parents back, and he accepted that and was like, you know what, Grundy, just go. Just go. So Solomon Grundy's still on the loose. I'm not sure if this is getting to season 2, but Solomon Grundy is on the loose, and he basically just up and left. But that's probably won't be the last time Rick and Grundy have an altercation. But I like Rick as a character. I mean, because pretty much whatever flaws you're going to potentially have with Rick, they get fixed like super quick. Like the fact that he's a team that you may think he's not a team player, but they fix that quick. He becomes a team player like boom. They fix a lot of flaws that he could have as a character pretty early, and I like that. Last main character we need to get to is Dr. Midnight, Angelica Washington. Now, Angelica Washington, she is just a random girl. She's just a random ass nerd. She sits at the same table with Courtney.
Chuck, what do I do?
There's a fire extinguisher.
Yolanda and Rick at lunch, and I'll be honest with you, I do not like how Beth just easily. So, I'm not sure if this is a white people thing or a suburban people thing. I mean, I lived in the suburbs and I didn't do this shit. So, Beth goes to the hospital, right? And she hears someone call Yolanda's name, right? So, let me give you the backstory. Stargirl and Yolanda are sneaking into a hospital because they're on a mission to go and get some info on Brainwave and stuff. And Brainwave's at the hospital because Stargirl beat the shit out of him and put him in the hospital. So they need to go to the hospital, get some info, and find out some things. Find out who been going to visit Brainwave, and if they find out who been visiting Brainwave, they can find out find out if that person is part of the JSA, the Injustice Society of America. So they have to make an escape out the hospital. They make an escape. Wildcat is climbing on the wall. Stargirl is on her staff, and her staff is flying up. She says her code name Yolanda, and Beth looks up, and she kind of sees them. I gotta watch the scene again. I don't think she saw them, but she heard Yolanda. She's like, Yolanda, and for some reason Beth has this superhero fetish now, and she wants to figure out who's a superhero. She wants trying to figure out if Courtney and Yolanda are superheroes because she saw them climbing up the thing, and she heard Stargirl say Yolanda, and she knows a Yolanda. So what she does is one day she goes to Stargirl's house, and the mom lets her inside the house, and she ain't even there. Like, Stargirl's not even at the house, and she lets this girl in the house. Beth easy just said, "Oh yeah, Courtney's my friend from school," and I'm like, "You just gonna let her in? And Courtney's not even at the house? What? No. You don't do like I'm not sure if that's a suburban thing. I grew up in the suburbs, and I never ever did that shit. I never did that shit. No. I'm over wondering like, what the heck is, why you just, why? And then she just walking around the house and stuff. She goes into Courtney's room, rummaging through shit, and then she finds Dr. Midnight's goggles. And mind you, as Beth said in the show, her best friends are literally her parents. That's what she said. So she doesn't have friends like that, right? She takes a liking to these goggles. Beth is very smart. She takes a liking to these goggles. And the goggles has a built-in AI of the previous Dr. Midnight. And she starts to become attached to it. She gives the goggles a new name. She calls the goggles Chuck. And the glasses becomes her friend. And she gets attached to him. So, I don't like how Beth became Dr. Midnight. I thought that was kind of dumb. I don't like that whole situation. But whatever. Now, I don't like how she became Dr. Midnight. I have no issue with her being Dr. Midnight. Oh, her costume was trash. That shit was trash. Shit was fucking atrocious too. Beth didn't do shit. Them goggles only good for what they are. Doing scientific shit. Them goggles was Google search. That's all the goggles was. Google search. And they was doing a Google. So Beth as a character, I like her. She's cool. Yeah, she can talk a lot and she could get annoying, but it's she doesn't do nothing you hate. I mean, she was willing to help. She was willing to help. I'll be honest. There was a episode where they snuck into one of the villains' house. They stuck into the Dragon King's house, and Beth was so persistent on getting info on this house and seeing if this is an actual villain's house. Even if this is actual villain's house, she was persistent. She was willing to help Stargirl with her cause of stopping the ISA. She was willing because, you know, like I say, she probably needed friends, and Courtney, Yolanda, and Rick was the only other people she talked to at school, so it was already easy for her to kind of be willing to join them. But she kind of just joined by, you know, and she also gave us insight on. She also showed Rick who killed his parents. So that also was probably another reason why Rick was probably okay with her joining the team too, and why he would look out for her. But yeah, Beth, is not really much to say. She's not bad. I mean, there's nothing you can really hate about her. I mean, I don't know how you can hate. The only thing you can hate from Beth is that she talks too much. That's the only thing you can hate. But as far as, like, she's sweet, she's nice, she's really nice, she's not mean, she ain't rude about nothing. She's cool. Like, she ain't nothing you can hate about her. The only thing you can really hate is that she talks too much. And she do talk too much. She does. But those are our four main heroes, and including Pat. If we gotta get to some side characters, I can blow past character. Mike Dugan, Pat's son, trash, annoying, disrespectful. I was waiting for Pat to go, boom, shut your ass up, Mike. Talking all that shit. Mike was so disrespectful. I did not like Pat's son. He was being rude, acting douchey for no reason. Well, he was acting douchey because he was getting mad that Pat was spending more time with Courtney, for superhero stuff and outside of superhero stuff. So I understand why, but it's like, bro, you acting petty and shit. Like, bro, Pat been wanting to do stuff with his son, and his son was trying to blow him off like, nah, Dad, I want to go do stuff with my friends, Dad. Nah, Dad. I'm like, your dad trying to do shit with you earlier in the season, and you didn't want to do the shit. The fuck? Yeah, I hate his son, Mike. Mike is trash. The villains this season. Hey, the villains this season, I'm be honest with you, none of these villains was really corny. Like, Brainwave, Sportsmaster, and Tigress, they was tight action-wise. As far as intimidation factor as villains, like, when Sportsmaster put his suit and stuff on, he was kind of more intimidating. But people like Dragon King, Icicle, and Brainwave, bruh, shit. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, they brought that intimidation factor. They brought the intimidation of a villain. They brought that shit. And I'm gonna get them into an issue in a second. My biggest issue with this show and how it came to be. I didn't read the Stargirl comic, so I had the benefit of not reading that comic and getting spoiled on things. Because people say this show is very accurate to the comic. So the villains, Icicle, Brainwave, and Dragon King are my favorites. They're my favorites because they're the most intimidating. Like, they're just intimidating as far as how they act, how they talk, they walk. They're intimidating. They are intimidating. But let me let you guys know real quick what the villain's plans is. So the villain's plans is, the villains basically want to use Brainwave to help broadcast. So basically they want to do, they want to be able to do what Professor Xavier could do. I forgot that device that he uses. That device he uses to be able to peek into other people's minds and stuff on a wider scale, and control people. They want to use Brainwave's telekinetic powers to control people because they want mainly the adults of the world to shift into a certain ideology that they want to believe. Most of their ideologies was, no bias against race, no bias against sex and all that stuff. A lot of left-leaning ideals, I'll be honest, I have no issue with it. A lot of left-leaning ideals, like, healthcare for all. They had a lot of ideals that was kind of left-leaning. I have no issue with it, but their ideals was left-leaning. And it kind of tripped up the heroes, because the heroes like, wait a minute. Wait, they want to combat, the ISA want to combat racism and shit. And then they was questioning, like, are we fighting bad guys? These guys kind of not that bad. But then they still, there was the means these villains was using to get to where they are, and that's why they're villains. Like doing a lot of murder, conspiracy, killing people just to get to where they are. That's one of the reasons why the ISA had to be taken out. And also got the JSA. So yeah, that's the thing. I like that they threw that in there, because like the kids actually questioned for a second, like, yo, are we Like, are they really as bad as we make them out to be? Like, they want to fight racism and shit. They want to fight inequality. They want to fight so many things. Like, the ISA wrote up a new constitution, and they want to reform America. So they had to they wanted to change the minds of the older people and have them start using the older people to help promote its new constitution, its new ideology. And, you know, they can affect the youth, and the youth will follow suit, and then it'll become a cycle. And they can probably just keep using brainwave over and over to help this idea further expand and probably go beyond America to Europe, Africa, and many more. That was their plan. They didn't succeed, but that was their plan. Now, my biggest issue with the show is how to all right. All I know is Jay Garrick and Dr. Fate was on this team, and Jay Garrick and Dr. Fate are pretty OP. Dr. Fate is a pretty OP magic user, and Jay Garrick is a pretty OP speedster. Got the Speed Force and shit. So, mind you, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, they didn't show them in the first episode, but they were part of the JSA. So you're telling me Brainwave, Icicle, the Wizard, Sportsmaster, and Tigress, and Solomon Grundy defeated Dr. Fate, Jay Garrick, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and
What the fuck?
I don't know how they defeated Jay Garrick. Like, they probably look. Brainwave, I understand. Brainwave can probably take out most of them dudes, right? He probably take out most of them. But Dr. Fate can definitely probably body the Wizard and combat Brainwave's telepathic abilities, right? Now, I am questioning how the JSA got defeated. I'm really questioning. I do not believe that sports, and mind you, you guys, I thought Sportsmaster was tight. Tigress was kind of ooh, but together Sportsmaster and Tigress was tight. They was combos was tight. I think Sportsmaster has superhuman strength and stuff. He probably has some, because he was tossing people and shit, and he was throwing them. I'm not sure if he's completely human, but he probably has some superhuman strength and agility there. But I'm like, ain't no damn way Sportsmaster can take out fucking Jay Garrick. I'm not saying he did, but come on now. I'm not gonna believe this. I'm not gonna believe this. Icicle was OP as fuck. That nigga had a bunch of ice power. Like, he froze a whole freaking bridge. Shit, he probably could have froze the whole JSA if he wanted to. Icicle and Brainwave was the only really OP ones that could probably do some damage to JSA, but even they're not enough. Like Dr. Fate, bruh. You guys, I do not fully accept how the JSA got defeated. Like, if those members, like, yeah. I understand that the members was only Starman, Hourman, Dr. Midnight, and Wildcat. Makes sense. But it was not just the only members. And they all got defeated by Sportsmaster and Tigress. Now, mind you, I like Sportsmaster and Tigress, but there ain't no fucking way they're hanging in there with a Jay Garrick and Dr. Fate. No. Like, they're part of the ISA, but it's like they don't seem like they're ISA material. Like, it seems like ISA should be a more OP individuals, you know? But it's whatever. Sportsmaster and Tigress, they're initially just mercenaries and stuff. They're like Deadshot, basically. They don't really have that much exciting grand abilities. Like, they just use, you know, technical stuff. Sportsmaster uses, you know, sports items and stuff, and Tigress uses a crossbow and arrows. Like, they're not really powerful like that. But it's whatever. I have issues with it, but it's whatever. I can live with it. But hey, I'm gonna say this much. I like Sportsmaster. That nigga was tight. The only thing is, like, bro, Sportsmaster costume, and this is why I say Even this show, just to compete with future, I guess it's, Alright, so this is what Sportsmaster looked like in Stargirl. Let me show you guys. This is what he looks like in Stargirl. Sportsmaster looks like this, right? And I remember Sportsmaster from Young Justice. Now, I was kind of wrong for a second because he does look like this. But, you know, it's like... You know, it's this shit. Like, come on now. Like, this shit needs... You guys, don't get me wrong. Some of this stuff, it's not bad. Like, it's not bad. You can get past it. But I'm just saying... A show like this, if with a even bigger budget, could definitely compete. And I like the short amount of episodes. Great. 12 episodes. Perfect. You don't need to do 23 episodes, 25 episodes like Flash, Black Lightning, and all of them do. No. In my opinion, some super niche shows need to lessen episodes and pour more money into each episode. I like that these episodes was 54 minutes. Unlike some shit like fucking WandaVision. Make your episodes longer. Gosh dang it. Shit. Not saying this is better than WandaVision, but at least it gives you more with the runtime, right? It gives you more. It's not that many episodes, so they'll give you more time in each episode, basically turning 2 episodes into 1 episode, which I love very much. WandaVision, 25-minute, less than 25-minute episodes. What the fuck? And you gonna do this shit for 9 episodes? For sure. I'm not saying Stargirl's better than WandaVision. I'm saying in Stargirl's case, you get more stuff. And I'll be honest with you, after the 12 episodes, I wanted more. Like, I'm invested in this shit. I like these kids. They're not bad. I like them. I'm invested in this whole little troop of kid superheroes. I'm down with this shit. Let's go. Let's get it bracking, bro. Let's go. But like I say, you guys, look, for this show to still compete, like, I'll be honest with you, the budget needs to match that of the Marvel MCU shows. That's what you got to compete with now. Like this show, I think the show is better than Flash, Black Lightning, Stargirl, not Stargirl, Black Lightning, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow. Like, I like this show. I like this show. I really like this show. I don't hate this. I like it. I kind of love it. Like, I was replaying a bunch of episodes. My favorite episode was I like to go back to the first episode. My second favorite episode was the episode when Rick comes on the scene and you get into Rick's backstory. I kind of like Rick's suit. Even with a better budget, that suit could look a lot more better and form-fitting. The suit looked weird in some parts of his body. Like, it looked kind of big and baggy. You know, it didn't really look form-fitting. But yeah, the episode where Rick comes on the scene and they really dive into his backstory is one of my favorite episodes. That's actually probably my favorite episode, when they dive into Rick's backstory. I liked Rick as a character. Like, it's because he changed my perspective. He's like, I thought he was gonna be, I was like, man, this dude's gonna be a douchebag. He's gonna be a douchebag prick. Like, yeah, he kind of douchey at times, but he was willing to, you know, work with the team and stuff and really get some shit popping. Like, he was really trying to help. And even though he was on his path of revenge, the revenge didn't fully take over, because even then he came to his own resolution of, you know, hey, I don't need to fight Grundy. Like, fighting Grundy won't bring my parents back. And I love that he accepted that. So really, the story is not bad at all. It's not bad. It's just has some issues with how the original JSA was defeated. Some Grundy CGI was trash. Next season it better be better. The robot CGI does not look real enough. Like, the CGI is supposed to be used to make it look real. It did not look real enough. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Stargirl staff looked great with the lighting and the CGI and stuff. It looked good. Like, Stargirl staff looked good. But other than that, dudes, I really like this show. Like, I like this show. I'm gonna say I like this. It's probably my first recent CW show in a while that I like. And this show's not exclusive to CW no more. I think it's what, an HBO Max show now. It's going to be an HBO Max show. So they continue with this. HBO Max can actually put a fucking budget into it. And they should. I hope they do. I hope HBO Max puts a budget into it. I want to see a budget into this. I want this show to rival that of the MCU show. Yes, a bunch of kid superheroes, but it's not a bad kid superhero story. I'm just saying DC, CW, the only way you're going to compete with Marvel, the MCU shows at this point, your budget needs to match what they got and what the quality they bring in. Vision from the MCU movies literally transitioned over to the shows, and he looks just as good as he did in the movies. Movie quality shit. I'm just saying, Stargirl didn't start as a movie. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, now you need to compete with Marvel and their TV shows. And you don't want them to blow you out the water. Like, the story here is not bad. The story is not bad. The story is actually good. And I'll fight anybody on the story. The story is good. I think the story is good. It's not bad. It's cool. You know, I think this is the most recent kid superhero story I liked in a while. Shit, I like this kid superhero story more than fucking Spider-Man Homecoming and shit. Far From Home, fuck that shit. Shit, I like this kid superhero story more than Shazam. Like, the recent kid superhero stories that I like, you know, Stargirl, she tight. I like her. She tight. But yeah, you guys, the budget needs to get up for them to compete, and they'll be good. You just gotta up that budget, and you're good for business. And once they up that budget, because some people costumes look good, some people don't. Like, it's next season, quality needs to shoot up. Like, everything needs to look different. It needs to look better, like more cinema-like, you know. But I'll say this much: the lighting, whatever cameras they was using in some scenes, like the first episode when Courtney and her family was driving to Nebraska, and there was a shot of them in the car and stuff, like, and Courtney was looking out the window, like the lighting and everything, the camera, it all looked good, like really good. Like, it looked better than most TV shows. Like, it looked really freaking good. I was so proud. I was like, damn, this shit look really good, man. Look better than The Flash. Like, some of the camera work, camera angle stuff look better than a lot of the other things on the CW. Look like they put more effort into this quality. And I love that Jeff Johns also wrote the Stargirl comic, and he also did this show. Like, I like that. I appreciate that. Having the creator come onto the show, write it, helmet, probably directed a few episodes. I didn't pay enough attention to who directed each episode. I need to start doing that more, because I started doing that for The Mandalorian and WandaVision, paying attention to who's directing these episodes. But man, I like that they brought in Jeff Johns to write, you know, this show. Like, that was a good thing to do, to give him that responsibility, because I think, you know, the person who created it should have a lot of say in how the show should go for the character's adaptation, for this adaptation of Stargirl. But look, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get ready to end this video. Oh, one more thing. Grade it. Grade. Fuck it. I'm gonna give Stargirl an A, my nigga. I'm giving it an A. Fuck it. It ain't even that bad, bruh. It ain't even that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not. It's not. It's not. Now, I need a second season, though. I do want to see it continue. But I don't want to see this continue for like 5 seasons. 2 to 3 seasons max, and then you're done. Because most superhero shows do not need more than 4 or 5 seasons. Because then you start to act like the comics, where they start to redo stories. They start to make up shit. They start to add in bullshit, dumb shit, retarded shit over time. And it's like, wait a minute. Last season, you took away this person's power, but now you're giving them back powers again. And then the scene after that, to take away the powers again and get it back. Like, are you going to keep on retreading the same story over and over? So that's why I'm glad, you know, this, keep it 2 to 3 seasons max. And that's it. That goes for any superhero show. Like, you need to lessen the seasons. Give us less episodes. About 54-minute episodes each. 54 minutes to an hour long episodes. Boom, boom, boom. There's 2 episodes in one. Boom, 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 boom. 12 episodes max. And you move on to next season. Get us ready. You don't need that many episodes in a season. Like, sometimes just like, you know, you're just doing too much. You don't need all these episodes, because then you're gonna retread over stories that you already done, and we don't need to see that again. But Stargirl, mwah, good. I like it. Great. It was great. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. It's your boy K-Dot, first Black Super Saiyan, where violence plank was that peace, love, positivity, and all that jazz, and don't do drugs, and Yo, wait a minute, I gotta let y'all know. I want to let y'all know how to become a member of the channel. First things first that y'all need to do, you're gonna go to my homepage, which is here. You'll type in ssjk-dots, spelled just like moi, and then you're gonna hit join. Once you hit join, you can hit any of these tiers and you can join them. Support this channel. What you get with these exclusive tiers is you're gonna get members only requests and reactions and reviews, and they'll be requested from members. So stuff that I usually don't cover, you guys can request for me to cover, and I'll cover it on my channel for you guys since you guys are members of this channel. Let's continue it.
What did you do? What did you do?